Good morning. We are starting off with our first video. This has to do with lesson 3.6 and 9.1 through 9.5. Today we're going to do 3.6 and 9.1. The first thing you guys are going to need for this entire chapter is a calculator. This is the best calculator to use, the TIX30A, or you need something similar. The main key on this that we will get to is the key y to the x. Okay, we don't need it right now, but we will need it shortly. Okay, first thing we're going to talk about is arithmetic sequences. Okay, an arithmetic sequence is a list of numbers or terms with a common difference between each number. After you find the common difference, you can use it to continue the sequence. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to determine whether each sequence is arithmetic. When you think of arithmetic, we think of arithmetic. Okay, so it has to have a common difference. 1, 2, 4, 8. The difference between 1 and 2 is add 1, add 2, add 4. Does that have the common difference? No, that does not have the same common difference. Therefore, it is not constant. It is not constant. Therefore, your answer is no. Okay, it is not arithmetic. Let's look at the next sequence. 0, 6, 12, and 18. Okay, they all add 6, add 6, add 6. So therefore, they do have the same common difference. Okay, so therefore it is constant. Okay, let's look at the next sequence. This sequence is an arithmetic sequence with a common difference of 6. Okay, let's look at the next one. 0, 6, 12, 18, okay? So now the next three terms would be, keep adding 6, 24, 30, and 36. So if a problem asks you, give me the common difference would be 6. And then what are the next three terms? Keep adding 6, 24, 30, and 36. Okay, next. Okay, let's fill in the blanks. Okay, is it arithmetic? Yes or no? 14, 12, 10, 8. So we're going minus 2, minus 2, minus 2. Is it arithmetic? Of course it is. Okay, let's look at the next one. 0.3, 0.6, 1, and 1.5. The difference between 0.3 and 0.6 is 0.4. Oh, excuse me, 0.3. The difference between 0.6 and 1 is 0.4. The difference between 1 and 1.5 is 0.5. Does that have the same common difference? No. So therefore it is not an arithmetic sequence. Okay, let's look at the next one. Okay, determine whether each sequence is an arithmetic sequence. If so, find the common difference and the next three terms. Okay? -1, 2, -3, 4. Is that arithmetic? No. All right, let's look at the next one. 1.25, 3.75, 6.25, 8.75. Yes, it's arithmetic. And the common difference, well, how do you find the common difference? You have to find the difference between these two. You have to find the difference between these two, the difference between these two, which is 2.5. So the common difference is 2.5. And then what are the next three terms? Well, let's add 2.5. We add 2.5, we get 11.25. Add 2.5, you get 13.75. Add 2.5, and you get 16.25. Okay. Next. Next page. Okay, so now we're going to use the first term and the common difference to write an arithmetic sequence. So you can actually, okay, you have to know this formula. You can write it like this, or you can write it like this. I prefer this way, the handwritten way. Okay, it means the same thing. Well, a to the n stands for the term that we're looking for. A to the 1 stands for the first term. D stands for the common difference times n minus 1. See, they have d at the end. I like putting d at the front, but it means the same thing. So I'm going to use this way. okay? After you write the rule, you can use it to find any term in the sequence. So what we're doing is we're finding the 50th term of the arithmetic sequence. So to find the 50th term, okay, is a sub 50, because that's the 50th term. That's a to the n, okay? Now, the first term, what's the first term? Well, here's the first term right here. The first term, first thing you see. The first term is 5. So A1 is 5. Plus the common difference. What is the common difference? The difference between 5 and 3.8 minus 1.2. 3.8 and 2.6 minus 1.2. 2.6 and 1.4 minus 1.2. That's the common difference times n minus 1. Well, what is n minus 1? What is n minus 1? N minus 1 is 50 minus 1. 50 minus 1 is 49. Okay, negative 1.2 times 49, okay, plus 5. And you get negative 53.8. That's my answer. Okay, PEMDAS, multiply, then add 5. Okay, negative 58.8 plus 5. Okay, so we need to know this rule. Okay, so let's write the rule. Okay, hold on. A to the n equals A1 plus D times n minus 1. Here's my rule that I can look at. Okay, so first problem. Arithmetic sequence, write the first term and the common difference to write the rule. Okay, all we're doing is we're writing the rule. Notice it doesn't tell me the 50th term, it just tells me the rule. The arithmetic sequence with first term A1 is 10 and common difference is 4. Okay, so A1 is 10, that's going to go where A1 is. Common difference is 4, that's going to go where D is. So let's fill in what we know. AN equals A1 is 10, D is 4. Okay, I filled in what I know, and now what do? I need to solve. So if I'm going to solve, I'm going to distribute. AN equals 10 plus 4n minus 4. And what do I do now? I'm going to combine like terms. And now I get a to the n equals 4n plus 6. And that's my answer. I'm going to make that a little bigger. And there's my answer. Okay, number 8. Negative 5, 0, 5, and 10. My first term is negative 5. My common difference, well, negative 5, 0, 5, and 10. My common difference is positive 5. Okay, so what do we got here? A to the n, don't know, equals A1, negative 5, plus common difference, 5 to the n minus 1, and solve. AN equals negative 5 plus 5n minus 5. Combine like terms. A to the n equals 5n minus 10. Okay, now it's telling me to find the term. See, on these two problems, it wasn't asking me for the term, it was just asking me for the rule. The rule. Now it's asking me for the term. 15th term, 32nd term, 100th term. So, let's see. Here we have, what's what? My first term is 16. So I'm always going to label, makes it much easier. And my common difference is negative 0.5. And now we're going to plug in to our formula. Okay, so to find the 15th term, we have A15 equals A1, 16, plus D, which is negative 0.5, to the n minus 1, which is 14. Can you see that? No, we can't. Okay, so negative 1/2 times 14 is negative 7. 16 minus 7 is 9. Next, okay, A1 equals, first term is 6. Common difference is 3. Okay, A32 equals, first term, 6, plus common difference, 3 to the n minus 1. 32 minus 1 is 31. 31 times 3 is 63. I'm sorry, 31 times 3 is 93, plus 6 is 99. And finally, first term. First term is negative 8. Common difference. How are we going? Plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. A100, first term, negative 8, plus common difference, 2 to the n minus 1, 99. 99 times 2 minus 8, which is 190. And here is lesson 3.6. Now we're going to move on to lesson 9.1. So this is arithmetic sequence. Okay, make sure you know this formula here. Okay, a to the n equals first term plus the common difference to the n minus 1. Okay, next, we're going to go to geometric sequence. Geometric sequence is now having to do with multiplying and dividing. In a geometric sequence, each term is multiplied, where arithmetic was adding, subtracting, geometric is multiplying. As you can see here, it's being multiplied. Okay, so now instead of a common difference, it's now called a common ratio. Okay, so the common ratio would be 4. Okay, if you look here, 2, 6, 18, 54, that's being multiplied by 3. If you don't know that and you're not sure, the way you can tell is you can say 6 divided by 2, that's 3. 18 divided by 6, that's 3. 54 divided by 18, that's 3. That's the way to check yourself to see if it's a common ratio. Okay, here, is this a common ratio? 10 divided by 5, that's 2. 15 divided by 10, that's 1.5. 20 divided by 15, that's 1 1/3. No, that's not. That's an arithmetic. Okay, so we're going to determine if they are geometric or if they are arithmetic. Okay, or nothing. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, remember, geometric means multiply or divide. Okay, so is this being multiplied? No, that's actually arithmetic. Okay, let's look at the next one. Negative 4, 8, negative 16, 32. That's geometric because that is being multiplied by negative 2. And let's look at the next one. 32, 16, 8, 4. That's geometric, but we don't want to say it's being divided by 2. We always want to talk about in terms of multiplying. So dividing by 2 is the same thing as multiplying by 1/2, or 0.5, same thing. Okay, so next, let's find the common ratio in each geometric sequence below, and then the next three terms. So the common ratio, and then the next three terms. Okay, 1, 5, 25, and 125. All right, these are all geometric. So the common ratio, okay, is multiplying by 5, and the next three terms multiply by 5. 625 times 5, 3125 times 5, 15,625. Okay, number 5. -612, -24, and 48. That's geometric. Common ratio is multiplying by -2. Okay, so next three terms, -96, +192, and a -384. Okay, next. Okay, 4, 6, 9, 13.5. Well, this one might not be as easy to tell. So the way to check it, okay, is to go like this. 6 over 4, what's that? 9 over 6, what's that? 13.5 over 9, what's that? That's how I can tell, okay? 6 over 4 is 1.5. 9.6, 1.5. 13.5 over 9 is 1.5. So the common ratio is multiplying by 1.5. That's the common ratio. Okay, that's how you tell. All right, next three terms are 13.5 times 1.5, 20.25, 30.375, and then 45.5625. And finally, 1/4, 1/2, 1, and 2. Common ratio is multiplying by 2, which would be 4, 8, and 16. Okay, so again, very easy. You find the common ratio, and then you give the next three terms. Okay, on the back. Okay, so there's two ways to do this, okay? But we're going to focus on this formula right here, okay? A to the n, and this is another formula that you need to know. A to the n equals the first term times the common ratio to the n minus 1, okay? So again, now we're going to find the 8th term in the geometric sequence, okay? Well, what you want to do is you always want to find the first term here and the common ratio. Okay, so the first term is 5. And what's my common ratio? 5, 10, 20, 40. Common ratio is 2. All right, so we're going to plug it in. We're going to plug in what we know. All right, so in this case, we're finding the 8th term. Right, it says the 8th term. So a to the 8. Okay, equals first term is 5, okay, times r. R is 2. That's the common ratio. Now, n minus 1. N minus 1 means 8 minus 1. So 8 minus 1 is 7. Okay, so we have to figure this out. Now, here's where we need our calculator. Here's where we need the calculator. So how do I figure this out? Okay, I'm going to move this over for a second, and we're going to see how to do this. 5 times 2 to the 7th. Okay, everybody, get out your calculator. If you don't have a calculator, you need your phone, and you need to turn it to the side. Okay, so first thing we do is 2 to the 7. We hit 2, and then see this y to the x right here? Y to the x, 7 equals times 5 equals. Okay, so 2 to the 7 is 128 times 5, and that's how we get 640. Now, when you're doing your work, I don't need to see 128, I just need to see this written out, and then your answer of 640. Okay, again, let me do it again. 2 y to the x, 7 equals times 5 equals. Okay, that y to the x button is huge. All right, so let's try. The y to the x button is huge. Okay, let's rewrite the formula so we know it. Okay, a to the n equals a to the 1 times r to the n minus 1. Okay, so first term. Okay, we're finding the 10th term. So a to the 10 equals a1. a1 is 7 times r. r is negative 2 to the 10 minus 1. 10 minus 1 is 9. All right, so on the calculator. Negative 2. Now, how do we do negative 2? Can we see this? Negative 2. 2 negative. Y to the x. 9 equals times 7 equals negative 3584. Okay, hope we're getting that. Okay, 8th term. First term, negative 4 times 3 to the 8 minus 1. 8 minus 1 is 7. So, 3 y to the x, 7 equals times negative 4. Negative 8748. Okay, last few problems. First term is 2. Common ratio is 3. What's the 7th term? So how do we write it out? A7 equals, first term, 2 times 3 to the 7 minus 1 is 6. Okay, you should get it, and you should get 1458. Make sure you get that. Okay. Next, finding the 9th term. First term is negative 3. Common ratio is negative 2. Negative 3 times negative 2 to the 9 minus 1 is 8. Negative 2 to the 8. Remember, when you do negative 2 to the 8, negative 2, 2 negative, y to the x, 8 equals times negative 3 equals negative 768. Okay. Find the 12th term in the geometric sequence. So when you have a problem like this, I think a good idea is to write down the first term and the common ratio. See how I did that? I wrote an A and an R. So A1 is 5. Common ratio, what are we going by? Times by negative 3. So the 12th term, A12 equals first term, 5. Common ratio, negative 3 to the minus 1. Now, notice I put the 11 out here, whereas I have the 8 in here. It does not matter. Okay, I'm going to get the same answer. Negative 3 y to the x 11 equals times 5 equals, and we get negative 885,735. People, don't take my word for it. Make sure you're doing this yourself. Make sure you're doing this yourself. I'm getting these answers on your calculator. All right. Find the 8th term. Okay, first term, 243. And And common ratio. Okay, now common ratio looks like we're dividing by 3. So it's 1/3. All right, got to talk about this one. So we're finding the 8th term. So A8 equals 243 times 1/3 to the 7th. Now, we got to talk about this. We're going to do this one together. Okay? A8 equals 243. Okay? Times 1/3 to the 7th. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Excuse me, 1/3. Now, how do we write 1/3? As a fraction. 1 ABC 3. Everyone see the ABC there? Okay. Y to the X 7 equals times 243 equals. Whoa, 0.1s. Okay. 0.1 repeating. There's my answer. Okay. First of all, 1/3. 1 ABC 3. Okay. That's how we write 1/3. All right, and the last problem. List the first 4 terms of the geometric sequence. Now, doesn't this look like this? Right? Looks identical. So you could tell me that here's your first term, 3, and isn't this the common ratio? So therefore, the first term is 3. And the common ratio is 7. So then the second term is times 7. The second term is 21. And then the third term is times 7, which is going to be 147. And then the fourth term is going to be times 7, which is 147 times 7, 1,029. Now, I know this was a 27-minute video. I'm sorry, but this is the way it is. These were 2 sections. So this covered 3-6 and 9-1, guys. You will go to myhrw.com, and there are 20 questions. You will have 3 attempts, okay, to practice. Good luck, and this is due Thursday night at 11:30. Bye-bye.